Hi everybody, welcome to the live today with Oforia. Okay, I'm going to get on it here. And I can't see him online. Okay. Hi guys, sorry, I'm trying to get Oforia here. And he's not showing up online. Okay, let me send him a message. Hi guys. Okay. Hi guys, I did send him a message. We did. Oh, there he is. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to the live today. Oh, hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing the live today.
My pleasure.
Can you hear okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah? Do I need to turn the music down or it's all good?
No, it's okay.
Yeah?
It's fine.
Well, it's a real honor to meet you finally.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, hi everybody. Everybody's waving here. Everybody's been waiting for this because we had originally planned to do it, then we had to cancel.
Yeah.
and reschedule. So how's everything with you, Offer?
I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah. Just in like 2 days ago, there is a new series in Israel, which I'm part of, that deals with the story of the Israeli trans. It's like a
Oh,
documentary series. It's
okay.
something that we've been working on this for like 5 years, something like this.
Wow.
And finally it's out, yeah, so a lot of excitement.
Wow.
And yeah.
And that's coming, where is that coming out on?
It's now on a certain network in Israel
Israel.
doing the
Okay.
just now. But I believe that in a later stage, probably it will broadcast in other networks or stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just out, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Hey, I mean, hopefully the rest of the world gets to see it also.
Yeah. I'm sure it will
Yeah.
take a bit, but
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. And
Cool.
beside this, like dealing with the music,
Yeah.
doing a lot of gigs here in Israel. Although the corona is still
Still out
here
there.
and rising up, yeah, but somehow we managed to to do live and parties and stuff like this.
Killer.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go. So I wanted to go back a little bit, Offer, and ask you like how it, you know, how the whole music thing started for you, and like before you got into electronic, what were you like? What were you doing like, and when did you like start like making music or producing?
I started with music, I think at the age of 13, maybe,
Oh
like
wow.
playing guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. And being like kind of a guitarist or like professional guitar player later on, the age of 22, 23. Uh, before the trance,
Yep.
I was like more in the rock scene here in Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. And at 94, we started producing trance. I had a studio together with Space Cat, Avi Granati,
Yeah.
and another partner called Marco. And we had like a commercial recording studio, which we used to record bands and stuff like this.
Okay.
Um, and then when the first tunes from like Goa trance came into Israel, like the first British sound or German sound, then we got really excited and we really wanted to do it. And actually, we immediately tried to do it and somehow managed to do it. And it was like this, you know, it was like we meant to do it.
Yeah. And so
We
how?
start and we started doing it, and then we released our first album as a band, like indoor
Okay. Okay.
title. Yeah, and from there it never stopped.
And so what was the title of that band? Sorry?
Indoor,
Indoor, right?
indoor,
Yeah,
indoor.
indoor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what year was that, Offer?
What?
What year was that?
It was 1994
94.
when we started. Yeah,
Okay.
1994. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the
Okay.
90s,
In the 90s,
midnight.
yeah. And so that was released in 94. And what label was that on?
It was released in a local big record company,
Okay.
not like a trance label, because
Oh,
back then there were like few labels. Everything was like just starting, you
just
know,
starting, yeah.
just
Yeah.
starting. Yeah. So we had an offer to release it in a major company in Israel,
Okay.
like big record company that signs like pop stars and stuff like this. Yeah. Afterwards came the more specific trance label to the frame, you know, like Dragonfly and all this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And so Indo was your first like electronic project, really. And
Yeah.
and that was with Javi from Space Cat.
Yeah.
And who else did you say?
With Marco
Mark.
Goren. That
Oh,
was his
okay.
name. Marco
Okay.
Goren. Well, we were like kind of trio.
Okay.
Then Avi departed, and I stayed with Marco, and we made Tandu, which is another project.
Yes.
Uh, and afterwards, I just kept doing it by myself as under the title Oforia.
Euphoria.
And
Yeah.
yeah, mainly Oforia, yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps, you know, other names here and there, but like the project I did in the 90s, which called Pigs in Space. There was an album I did, which was titled Pigs in Space.
It's
No Euphoria or something like this, but mainly most of the music was under this title, Euphoria.
okay. Okay. And I mean, how many albums have you like produced in total as Euphoria?
I think around maybe 13, 14, something around this.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um,
yeah.
wow. And
Uh,
and then also now you're also like you're doing like new stuff also under a different name, right?
Yeah, I have a
Yes.
project called Noor,
No.
which is Noor, yeah. Noor, which means in Hebrew and Arabic, it means light.
Okay.
And it's like different sound. I mean, it's not different sound, but it's different maybe beats and rhythm and style. But
Different stuff.
the sounds you can recognize, and there is a lot of it's like a big collage of genres which I love and which I've like played during the years. It's like kind of taking my favorite styles in music and making it like a one big style. And from this point, I did this, and the most like the big thing in it is like the mixture between Western sound, like the electronic sound and all this, and Arabic or more Eastern sound. So it's like a mixture between both.
Okay.
So it sounds kind of bit of I don't know, sometimes ethnic, oriental, I don't know how to call it. So you have kind of mid-eastern sound in here.
Sound.
It's not like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've just finished like we did some footage. We played the stuff live with the band, and I'm just finishing editing the videos, and I will release it soon. So we played half of the album of Noor like live, totally, almost totally live.
Oh wow.
Everything was filmed, and yeah. So
Okay.
I'm just finishing. Yeah, it's
Oh,
very
that's
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so then so obviously, you know, you're from Israel and I'm guessing or maybe, you know, when you did your first ever gig, live gig, was it in Israel or was it outside of Israel, like back in the 90s?
In Israel.
In
Yeah, the
Israel?
first one was in Israel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the Sea of Galilee, the Kinneret Lake. Yeah, where Jesus walked on the water in this area.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever played on a like.
On a
There wasn't any CDJs or stuff like this. There were like DAT players and
yes.
this kind
Yes.
of mechanic. But yeah,
And so
that's
when you
yeah.
did the live first time in the 90s, did you play with did you do like live or did you play off that then? Did you play DJ?
Um, yeah, I think we did it together as indoor as the band I described before.
Okay.
So we stood like the three of us, which was weird. And we just played the music we did from that and others' music. It was like kind of a mixed set, you know, with some tracks that we did because we
Okay.
were new and other artists stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And how was that as a first experience for you to play?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We had the luck to get like a good first party because sometimes, you know, for others it's like this because those years were really problematic, you know,
Yeah.
because nobody
Yes.
knew nothing, and but eventually it turned out really good. Yeah. And afterwards we did another one, much bigger, like same area,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
took us like I think maybe a year, maybe a bit less, to do the first outside of Israel gig, which was in London.
Oh, in
And,
London. Wow.
yeah, in a Dragonfly party.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
with
that would probably be one of the best. Yeah, probably one of the best parties to play at for the first time in England for sure with Dragonfly.
actually it was a bit of a disaster,
Oh,
to
really?
be honest.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
because we were excited, so we wanted to do it really live. Okay,
Yeah.
so I brought my guitar and we were in the studio planning what to do and doing like other versions and stuff like this. And when we got to the venue and to the party, things didn't work, of course,
Oh.
because we did like we synced a couple of devices. Okay,
Okay.
the sync went out, so the crowd was hearing like fucking bullshit.
Oh no.
So it was, yeah, it was a bad experience. Yeah, it
Oh, that sucks. That's too
was
bad.
like this. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it
did you
was like
get
this, but yeah, we got compensated afterwards with other gigs. Yeah,
other gigs? Okay. Did
we
you ever play? Did you
managed
ever?
to play like two tracks and get out of it, but it wasn't a good experience for us. For
Oh,
us, shame because it was the Dragonfly party after all. But afterwards, we did it well.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a shame, huh?
yeah, yeah. It really is.
Oh dear. All of my
Yeah,
experiences of playing at Dragonfly have been like awesome, but that's a shame. Um,
yeah.
and so how long did
But
you?
youth. You know,
Yeah,
Martin.
yeah.
So he had us in his place. He had this big house, and he just bought it. And we came a lot of people, friends from Israel. So he had us for 1 week in the house. It was really good time.
Yeah, eh?
So this was good.
Yeah. Well, at least you had a good experience otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, Hi,
yeah.
Denise. Hi, everybody. Um, so how long?
And also, like, a quite important fact, in the same bad experience, we worked in Butterfly Studio. You
Oh,
remember
you did.
this?
Okay.
Yeah. And we did a track with Dino, and I think Jody was also there.
Okay.
So we
Killer.
were for like 24 hours in the studio, the big
Studio.
one. Yeah. So it was really, it wasn't all bad experience,
Experience.
the whole thing, you know. Yeah. The most important thing was, but
Yeah.
yeah, not
Yeah. Um, and how long were you in indoor? Like, how many years was indoor like actually as a group going? Like, how long did indoor last?
not for a long time. It was, I think, 2 years, but
2 years?
the years were quite important years, you know,
Yeah.
because things really got developed from this point, you know, the mid 90s. I believe that the real base of this culture was made
Yes.
during those years, and the sound of the music, the special sound, because few years before that they were all kind of were like searching. It wasn't really focused. And when the first British sound tunes came in like 94, 95, it was really there. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a good time. Yeah.
Good time. Yeah. And then what about as Euphoria? What was your first gig as Euphoria and where?
um it's hard for me to remember,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to remember if it was in Israel or
Or
in, because I was already playing. It was, but you know, it just changed the name. I was
yeah,
already playing before
already
that,
playing
but probably in Israel.
in
Probably
Israel.
in Israel. Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you know,
Because I had to like maybe present the music first, and you know how it is. So first you do it locally,
yeah,
close to your, you know, and
yes,
then it turns, you know, out of your territory.
territory.
Yeah.
Can you remember some of your like you know, some of like your best or biggest gigs from back in that time, like that you can that like had an impact on you?
From the 90s, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Let's say mainly in Israel because other gigs it wasn't so developed outside of Israel. I mean the gigs outside of Israel were like parties, you know, in a club or maybe
Okay.
in a like underground parties. But in Israel, in '97 there were like festivals, you
Yeah, yeah.
know. So there was one festival which is a myth, like a classic, and it's called Huga, after the name it took place. It's here in the north of Israel, like maybe 15,000 people,
Oh
and
wow.
like half a year, yeah, with like unforgettable X Dream show.
Okay.
That yeah,
Okay.
they did there, you know, and it was like really did a lot for them when they
Yeah.
turned it down back
Okay.
then. Afterwards, there was another festival which was called Nitzanim with like 30,000 people. So I had the privilege to be part of like, it's even for today, it's ridiculous, you know, to so many people.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe the more interesting gigs for me came later.
Later on.
Yeah, maybe in the
Okay.
decade afterwards,
Okay. And
where
where, I mean, okay, so what, like, in the early 2000s
yeah, and on, yeah, something
and
like
on?
this
Yeah.
when Japan and Brazil and all these
Okay.
territories became more strong
Yeah.
and had more money to do bigger stuff. So then it became like more of a real adventure, you know, something that you will never forget.
So
Uh, a lot of them,
where are all the places
yeah.
that you played in offer? What
Which places?
yeah, like I mean, okay, so you've played in Japan, right?
Yeah, no, I
When
played, yeah, in Japan. I've been like a lot.
a lot.
Yeah, I think maybe 30 times. A
Yeah,
lot.
Japan is also one of like a really great place for partying, I think.
Yeah, for me it was maybe the best place
Yeah.
where you take all the parameters, you know, and like the place, the hospitality and the crowd and sound and what they do to make the party like really good and all these things. So for me, it was like always real joy to come there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay.
special. Yeah, and of
And
course other places. I really love to go to London, a place which I've been a lot in the '90s. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, also. But part of that, I've been in a lot of places, almost everywhere.
Yes.
Not all of them were good. Most of them
Yes.
were nice. Some of them were really great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what about I wanted to ask you, what about India? Have you been to India, Offer?
yeah.
Yes.
I've been to India. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It
When
was
did
in
you
the '90s.
in the 90s? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And did you play there also?
I played it wasn't like a proper party,
Yeah, like a smaller.
but since it was in an amazing place in the north, so for me it was a really good experience, you know. It was also the first years, you know, it was 97, I think, beginning of 97.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Too bad I didn't see you play there.
In India.
Yeah, in India. Yeah. I mean,
I, I didn't play there, but almost, no, I didn't play there, I think, at all.
At all.
At all. Yeah.
Wow.
Ridiculous as it sounds, but yeah.
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 Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I'm surprised. I would have thought, like, you know, you played like in Goa or like.
There are many, not many, but there are some artists which you surprised to know that, yeah,
Yes.
and they gave a lot of content to Goa.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, so
I mean,
yeah,
you know, your music has been.
like this.
Yeah, your music has been played there a lot. I mean, and I'm like, you know, would be one of the probably #1 DJs there that would be playing your stuff. Like, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of yours. So
Ah, nice.
yeah,
Thank
your
you.
music for me is, you know, like this. I still have, and I have it on my. I have all my DATs still. Also, I still have my 2 DAT players, and I have a lot of your stuff on DAT. So
Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
And I got to play at the ZNA last one like a few years ago, 2 years ago, and
Where?
in the ZNA.
Yeah.
Because you also played at ZNA, right?
Yeah. We played there, yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you asked for like one of my favorite gigs. I think this was one of my favorites ever. The one that was like 4 years ago, I think, when I played with Avi, like 4 hours set from all times. You know, it
Yeah.
was wow.
Yeah. I missed that one, which is kind of a shame. I didn't manage to go to any of their first ones, but I got invited 2 years ago, and you know, obviously
Yeah.
because it's old school, I got to play, and I played, of course, Oforia, because you know, it has to be done. But yeah, so yeah, I'm actually also surprised that you never, I mean, haven't played there, you know, as Oforia in Goa.
Yeah.
That's kind of a little bit
Yeah.
crazy, but there you go. But you know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's still maybe still there's a chance, you know.
Still what?
Maybe there's still a chance that you could come and play there.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. As long as I live, there is a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
I've been there for like, but not in Goa. I've been in the north,
okay.
like, and also in Pushkar and all this area.
Areas. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was more like, you know, like for fun,
Yeah, to travel. Yeah.
not for work. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also
And
because
I know that times today are different than it used to
yes.
be back then. Not the same.
Yeah. The scene in Goa has changed a lot for sure, but like everywhere in the
Yeah.
world, I guess, right? Everything changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about the scene in Israel also, because I haven't been to Israel for a long time also, more than probably 12 years or something.
Yeah.
And you know, I've played there also a few times, but I just wanted to talk to you about the scene there, like compared to, say, you know, 15 years ago. Like, what's the scene like now, like in Israel?
It's pretty much the same.
It's the same?
It's pretty much. I mean, it's like big, and it works, and it's kind of the same. Maybe less festivals and big events because of the corona and all this, but still, comparing to other countries, it's really happening here.
It's still people are like still full on there, hey?
Full on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is the same. What's different is maybe the style, the trends, clothing, the way of dancing, the music, which goes a bit there and a bit there, and maybe more than, I believe that some of the magic that was in the 90s was lost, you
It was
know.
lost, yeah.
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 A lot of people saying it, but
Yeah.
for me, I'm not following this, you know, stuff. For me, it's the same, really. It
Yeah.
changes because the world is changing, not
Changing, yeah.
because, yeah.
Yeah.
So it needs to be changed, but it's really not changing. It's a bit different, looks a bit different, like a new model, like an updated model, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got the privilege to be in the 90s, you know, to enjoy this era because it was really, people can appreciate also the youngsters today, like some of them were not even born back then, you know, and
Back
they
then,
can
yes.
really appreciate
Yeah.
the thing was, yeah, back then and
Yeah, yeah.
compared to,
I was glad when pretty much every time I've been to Israel, I've had like a good time. Of course, there's always been some, experience with the police or whatever. But I'm kind of also used to that because that happens also in India. So
yeah,
with the police coming
yeah,
and busting the parties. But some of my first parties there, there's a friend here of mine, Denise, online, and she's chatting away. And the first few times I went, and she also came along. We had amazing times in Israel. We went to Sinai, and
yeah,
Eddie Miss was playing, and I used to hang around with Ronan, who passed away, and we had some
mm,
amazing parties there.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's fun here. It's really
yeah,
fun when everything
yeah.
is calm and nobody's shooting.
Yes.
Everything is good. It's a really
And
good
everything.
country.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true.
Yeah,
And yeah, I hope to come back at some point. And it was also nice to speak to Isaac Sandman because also the first time I went to Israel, I met him. And he was like a little baby. You know what I mean? Like he was a
yeah,
teenager, and
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to watch all these people grow and still making their amazing music, and
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
also
because
like
it's,
Javi from Space Cat, like
yeah,
he was in Goa also, and actually he was
yeah,
at one point,
but
one season he
he
was living
was illegal.
yeah, he
He
was
was,
living opposite my mom's place. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah, and
yeah, it was a thing back then, like 2005, 6. He was going to India and stayed there for
yeah,
a couple of months. Yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah, and so yeah, Offer, you need to come and play in Goa for sure. Um,
I believe it
I
will happen.
yeah, I mean,
If to
for
my soul, to the next body who will carry my soul. But it
yeah,
will happen.
yeah, um,
And
I
now it's
mean,
a problem, you know. Now it's a bit of a problem, no, for us because of the COVID and all this.
yeah, now everything's changed for everybody. Like traveling around the world is going to be a big change for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it sure.
so we I guess we have to work around that. Hopefully it won't last for too long. Let's see. Hopefully maybe in a couple of years everything kind of goes back to normal. I don't know.
I hope. Yeah, it must. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we also need to learn to live beside this thing because
Yes.
yeah, it's impossible like this. You know, this emergency atmosphere every 2 months. You know, it's like really hard. But I believe it will be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I don't know what we can do, but also I wanted
nothing
to
really.
ask you. Yeah. Also I wanted to ask you. Have you got any like favorite albums that you've like any of yours that are like one of your favorite, or you can't really give a favorite, or some that you
Um, there are some which I like better than others. But I don't know if I have like one favorite because
Favorite
each one it's from different times and
times, yes.
but I really I can pick two. The first one is Euphoria, which is titled is Delirious, and the last one I did, which called Read More. Euphoria, Read
Okay,
More,
yeah, yeah.
kind of homage to the old sounds,
Sound,
to the old Goa, yeah, trance.
hands.
So yeah,
Okay. And what was your last Euphoria album? Like, what year was that? What year did it come out?
as Euphoria, it was 2016. This one I just mentioned,
Jan,
Euphoria Read More, was out 2016.
2016.
And then the next release, a big release I had was the new album, which
Okay.
came this year. Yeah.
Okay.
But I had a lot of releases in between,
In
like of
between, yeah.
singles and stuff like this. Recent months, I've been working with other artists, so new
Yeah, that's
tracks, new collaboration tracks are expected just near.
okay. That's what I
Uh,
was gonna ask
yeah.
you also. Like, have you collaborated with anybody? And
Yeah, I did now like two tracks with Huja Boy, Neil.
okay,
There is one I'm working with Captain Hook. One with the astral projection,
oh wow,
with Avi, Avi Space Cat. We just finished one. Yeah,
okay,
there's a lot of food being made,
being made.
and it's yeah almost ready. I believe it will start to be out like really soon. Yeah,
Okay, and
yeah.
what labels do you just have like do you just like release on the one label?
If it's like me doing music or it will if it's my music, only my music, so it will probably be released at Future Music Records,
Okay,
which is an Israeli label, part of the FM group, which
okay,
also for booking stuff. Um, the other option is to be released at the other artist's label.
okay,
So I
okay,
don't know, yeah.
okay, okay,
But if I
okay.
want to release something, it will probably go through Future Music Record. Yeah.
Records. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then most of your albums or your you can find it also on Apple Music, right?
Everything,
On
everything,
every platform, yeah.
everything, almost
Okay,
everything. Yeah. I'm
okay,
also now. I'm planning to revive some of the compilation tracks, old ones, which like were lost
oh really?
because they were not lost, but all these 90s compilations where you put a track, and the compilation is not online these days.
Yes,
Some tracks you cannot find. There is a
yes,
lot of them. Also,
yes,
other artists. Some of them it's crazy to realize that you cannot find it.
yeah,
So I'm doing like an effort to bunch of to make like a really get like 20 tracks, maybe more, and put them online so they can be accessible.
oh really? Wow, that's killer.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing because also
because
like
you
for
cannot
me,
find them.
no, you can't find them. And also, I always had my music on DAT, but then also, of course, a lot of my DATs got damaged, or not I
Yeah,
can't play them anymore. And I sometimes I really like miss certain tracks, and I'm like, oh, now I can't get them anymore. So
yeah.
yeah, that would
It's
be
only
amazing.
YouTube, but
Yeah,
you can
YouTube.
find it at YouTube, but the quality is not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So yeah,
amazing.
I'll do. Yeah. To get all the catalog, most of it is there. Most of it is there, but
Okay.
there are these tracks, you know, these dot tracks that went on compilations, and God knows where is it, who's taking care of
Yes.
it, and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But it was a long time ago, so it's probably, you know, there isn't somebody to deal with in terms of rights and all this, so we're just going to put it out and that's it.
Okay. And you're gonna
Yeah,
do that. You're gonna do that yourself, like just put them on.
I'm gonna do it with Suntrip.
Okay.
Suntrip, you know, the label, so they're gonna deal with this, and yeah, yeah,
Okay.
expect it soon. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And will it be also available on CD or just for like downloads?
For downloads and online for sure. CDs, maybe
Maybe.
they'll decide to do something nice and, you know, reissue them with CD with some physical. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice. And then, so wait, and what is it?
No,
Nur is just been released like a few days ago, no?
no, it was released on March this
In
year.
March.
On
Okay.
March. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
okay. Because I will look that up now because I found like also, yeah, because I have my Apple now, so I
Yeah, it's
just found.
available. You can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I will go and check that out also. Definitely.
Cool.
And
Nice one.
any like as Oforia, anything coming in the future?
In the nearest future, I believe it will be mostly trance tracks, new trance music.
Okay.
Thing I do the most. And the next thing will be another Null release. I don't know if it will be a complete album or an EP. I don't know yet, but for
Okay.
sure it will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So pretty productive.
Yeah. And then this series you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like a what kind of, like, is it like a weekly series or what is it like?
It's like 3 episodes. Each episode is like 50 minutes. And it kind of tells the story of the Israeli trance. It's really hard to tell the whole Israeli trance story because it's really big. And
Yeah.
it's like dozens of years already. But still, it's like really takes you on a journey, and I'm pretty sure that a person that don't know nothing about trance, although it's really hard to be somebody like this in Israel, but there are.
Yeah.
And if he will watch it, then he'll understand for sure. It brings out not just the cliches, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, and everybody's happy with it, and the reactions are amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I can
so
imagine.
it's really great, and we worked a lot, yeah, for years.
For years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm guessing, like, did you have, before this COVID started, did you have like any plans to be playing outside of Israel at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had, yeah, yeah,
And they all canceled now, so.
yeah, yeah. It's like nothing is happening.
Yeah.
There is one event here, one there, but not like we used to have, you know, back just 3-4 years ago. You know, the summer in Europe was fucking crazy. All
Yeah.
these
I mean,
festivals, all this was
I see.
really,
Yeah. I mean, I see some festivals are starting to happen slowly.
yeah, yeah.
But you,
it's also it's really hard also for them because if they decide to go on this, okay, and then the COVID again turns up, you know, so it's a problem, you know.
yes,
You can't plan anything
anything.
really for sure. And then the people, it's hard for them to believe, you know, they really want. So it's a really problematic situation.
Yeah, because it
But,
keeps on, and
but
also it keeps on changing. And also the big problem is in each country, it's different. The rules are
yeah,
different. So this is the
yeah,
more complicated thing, right?
yeah, for sure,
So,
for
you
sure.
know, in this country,
Yeah,
yeah, it's okay, but then on this country, no. And then for each country to go in and out, it's like, oh my
yeah,
God, it's like
yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, in Europe, it's really hard, this differences, you know, between each country. But yeah, we had a lot of restrictions in the first waves, not this Delta wave that we have now. We had really tough restrictions, but this now it's not really hard. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's like there isn't any lockdown, there isn't any enforcement, like real enforcement. So at the end of the day, you can do parties.
You still
You
do
can
parties,
do,
okay?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
Everybody were sure that we are going these days, now, actually, really now, for a lockdown because the numbers were like getting really crazier with the
Yes.
sick and all this. But the government decided eventually not to do a lockdown. So this weekend in Israel was very poor with parties,
Yes.
okay, because nobody wanted to do because they didn't know if it's going to be a lockdown. But I believe that next week's will be okay, and we'll see again a lot of
Okay.
events. Yeah,
Okay. Somebody here. Can you see the comments offer? There's somebody here who just wrote something. Can you see it? The
yeah,
last
I see. Yeah, nice one.
um
Yes,
um yeah, well, I mean, so pretty much you're just in the music still and producing and collaborating, which is awesome, and still
yeah,
partying. And
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah. Life is good.
life is good. And you've been doing this now, having for offer for like what, more than 30 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, the trance would be like 26 years or something since '94. But with music in a
Music.
professional way, it was like 3 years before that.
Yeah.
So it's actually
Yeah.
dealing like yeah, professional
Yeah.
level and all this 30 years. Yeah,
30 years.
yeah,
And you play, your instrument that you play is guitar?
yeah.
Yes.
Guitar and like electric guitar and bass.
And bass, okay.
Yeah,
And I wanted to ask you like when you're like making music, I mean, what program do you use? Cubase or Logic, or what are you using?
mainly Cubase,
Cubase.
mainly Cubase, and sometimes Ableton for live stuff and like looping jams and live looping and stuff like this. Then I'll use Ableton, which works also with Cubase in
Okay.
parallel. They can connect.
Okay.
So yeah, but mainly I create with Cubase because
Cubase.
I'm so used to it.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 years I'm using
In
software.
Cubase.
It's
Okay.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Wow. And I mean,
yeah.
for me, like, you know, I've only like produced one album like a long time ago, and only done like collaborated and made a couple of tracks. But like recently, I'm thinking about like, you know, wanting to like play around and stuff. So I wanted to ask you like your opinion. Like, I mean, Cubase or Logic for me, like as a like kind of like say a beginner.
Um, uh, Generally, they are the same.
Same.
It's the same thing. It's the
Okay.
same thing. The differences are the interface.
Okay.
Really, the interface of the software. There are a couple of differences, like, but really not something which is critical.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's a digital audio
No.
workstation, but you have to deal with both and see what's more
More
comfortable for you.
comfortable. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Cubase is more, maybe it's a bit more fancy with its look,
Okay.
okay, with its layout and all this, and it reminds a bit Ableton, where you
Okay.
can, you know, go from this screen and fold and unfold this area of the screen, blah blah blah. So Cubase can do it. Logic, I believe, not. It's more
Okay.
like working, but it's amazing software. Yeah, it's really
Yes.
amazing. Logic also. Yeah,
Logic also.
I
Okay.
think that the built-in or the plugins that comes with, you know, the plugins,
Yes.
all the add-ons to the software in Logic are much better than the one that you get with Cubase.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is a
So
fact.
it's just I guess on your preference or yeah.
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
want to waste time in like or money with plugins because you need plugins, you know. You need other things to make it like stronger and more options. Then maybe Logic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's I want to sit at home and play around a little bit. So now that you know, maybe I have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. That's
Nice.
been a while, and also not DJing so much anymore. So yeah, I thought why
Yeah.
not give it a try. Um.
Yeah. Ableton is also, maybe you should try Ableton because the thing with Ableton is it's very easy and very fast and very learnable. I don't know, I can call it, but very friendly.
Okay.
Maybe this kind will be more suitable. I don't know.
Okay.
Because everybody who's starting, uh, not these days, it's for a long time, is starting with Ableton.
Able. Okay.
It's easier, much easier for you know, for starting level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just maybe just check both out and see how I feel, I guess. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard in the past also from friends that you know, Logic is maybe a little bit more difficult for to get into, but
Yeah, a bit, yeah, because it's not like it's a bit old style, old school style of software. Less modern, yeah, in its layout. But you can easily see it and check it with like a couple of YouTube's videos, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and then yeah, what else I wanted? I mean, I wanted to ask also. Right now, before you go, is there any like well, artists in the electronic scene that you really like now? Like, can you tell me like any artists that you really like at the moment in the electronic scene?
Yeah, I like Captain Hook a lot. Yeah, because the thing for me with music is to get something which is special, not something that everybody is doing. Okay, I'm really, really sensitive for it, and I believe that every real musician is. And I think that he's doing great stuff, really unique, really, he developed its own sound.
Okay.
And with its image and the way he puts it out and all this, I really like it because it's very hard for me to find somebody else which is doing it. You
Okay.
know, a lot of the rest are like really sounds the same, really sounds
Yep.
the same.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
which I'm not saying it's bad or good. Yeah, I'm not judging anybody, but for my taste,
Yes.
then it will attract me much less, because
Yes.
been there, seen that,
Yeah.
and here is something like is not new. Yeah, it's been active for quite a long time, but it's really nice to see its development.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Captain Hook. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Also, I mean, of course, we don't want to like, judge or criticize, but for me as a DJ, also, if I listen to lot of the music that's produced now, it's like, yeah, like very much the same. There's no, I don't know. It's for instance, I can go onto a site now and check out like, this album or this album or this album,
yeah,
and I will like
yeah,
flip through because I'm like, okay, well that's track 1 to track 10. There's like, it's boring, you know.
yeah,
It doesn't really take me, and so it's really hard to find that like music that you really want to play as a DJ nowadays, I find.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the big difference from the time we
Yes.
started at the 90s,
Yeah.
which was real music,
Yes.
Each music was music,
Yes.
not tracks for party
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
works or not work.
Yes.
This kind of measurements is really ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
I believe that good music always the best option,
yes.
not to go by if it's kicking
Okay. Yeah. Killer kicking.
this and killer that and killer this and killer that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not deep. It's nice, it's nice, and people like it, and you come to a party and you see the crowd and this kind of tracks being played, maybe mostly, and you see that people are enjoying it, yeah, but it's not something is like repeating itself in
Yeah.
this
I mean,
story for
yeah.
quite a long time.
Yeah. I mean, if you're at a party all night long and you hear, it's just like, okay, well, did anything
Yeah,
change in between? You don't find that, that like up or down, or it's just
yeah,
one level,
yeah, because
continuous.
most of it is built up from sounds and noises and which are like ordered in time in an attractive way.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
no layers of real music and harmony and stuff. I mean, there are melodies and there are
Yes.
tracks that not all of the tracks are like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you can see that most of it is not like
Yeah.
is not carrying this important layer of
Yes.
music, making
Music.
it really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. It's a shame in a way. I mean, of course, a lot of people like it. The newer generation, I think they like it. They like this like full on, and they don't really care very much if there's any story to it.
yeah.
But um,
Like the
I
whole music, like the whole world is working. The
yeah,
whole in every aspect.
yeah,
Even the mainstream music, you see the like the pop music. For years, there is nobody,
yeah,
nothing. There isn't. figures that we used to had back then.
Back then.
Yeah, not back then, also like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Really lost. The whole thing
Lost.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Be nice, like bring a little bit old school back into the
Always.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you, like, what about Space Cat Javi? Like, he's also still producing stuff now?
Space Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Okay.
he's producing, also doing a lot of mastering and like
Okay.
studio services, for like maybe younger artists and stuff like this. Yeah.
Okay. Because I also sent him a message, but I don't know if he checks or what. But I also sent him a message saying it would be nice if he could also do a live, because he's
Yeah.
also part of that era. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
I'll tell him that.
Yeah,
Check
it
this
would
out.
be
Yeah.
would be cool. Yeah. And also you collaborated with Dino, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
We had this kind of band which was called Freaky.
Yeah.
Freaky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did like maybe 7, 8 tracks during the year. The last
Okay.
one we did was like 5 years ago when
Okay.
he came to Israel to play, and yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we know him since the beginning. For us, he's a bit younger than us, but we learned a lot from him, a
From him,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
was teaching in Goa when he was
Yeah.
19 or something, and he came to our studio and he brought us all this amazing music that was going out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a good friend, really good friend.
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Dino's
fun.
cool. He's always a laugh. He's always a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Then I wanted to. Okay. Well, I guess. What more can I say? Is there anything else you wanted to add to the interview offer?
Trust in trance.
Trust in trance.
And what can I say? Have a good week, all of you.
Yeah, and
Have a blasting weekend.
yeah, you too, and thank you so much for doing this today. It's
thank
really,
you for having.
It's a real pleasure. As I said, I'm a huge fan. So yeah, and hopefully one day I get to meet you like face to face. Maybe in Israel.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, and also good luck with your new album and with everything else that you're working on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I will be keeping my ears open.
Thank you.
For everything. And yeah,
nice one.
And stay healthy, and hopefully you get to travel a bit soon, and play your music around the world.
Me too. Yeah. We'll hope for better days. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It will come. You just have to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and thank you everybody. Thank you everybody here for joining in.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Gonna hear Captain Hookset 2017 Azora.
Wow. For sure, it's good.
Yeah. Good vibes to you all too. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For joining us, and yeah, thank you, Oforia. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Ciao.
Peace. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.